I'm not really sure what the overall reason for that may be. Ravi says, I have a theory why you don't get enough views, in my opinion. You are too nerdy. Well, I can't stop that. For a T20 generation fan to understand, appreciate some of the stories you share. So here's the thing. T20 fans are more nerdy than test match fans. If I go into the weeds, T20 fans are much more interested in the weeds than test match fans are. Test match fans actually prefer the stories. T20 fans prefer the analysis based on all the numbers I have. T20 fans largely are fantasy fans as well, right? So for them, or gambling fans. So it's actually the opposite of what you say. Look, on our main channel, we have had 18 million views. On our secondary channel, we're probably up to at least 1.5, 2 million. I haven't checked in a little while. Our second channel is, which is this one, of course, is growing really, really fast, faster than our main channel did. We have a successful podcast, which actually has been going great guns for at least the last year and a half. I have an emailer with lots of different people. If I really wanted to just focus on YouTube, I'm sure we could supercharge our stuff. But the truth is that YouTube isn't my only business. It's of my sort of good area companies. It's one part of it, and we could ride the algorithm a little bit more. We could pander to certain audience bases a little bit more. All those sorts of things. Instead, I want to make a video about the Afghan women's team and want to do an interview with, the first trans cricketer and, I want to do all these different kinds of things that interest me. And so that was fine. I started the YouTube channel as a backup, really. The podcast was always the major a part of it. And then I started writing again because I hadn't written for a while with Cricinfo, and I just wanted to put my words out somewhere. But we've done brilliantly here. We have multiple sponsors. We've worked directly with people. We worked with Cricinfo. We could have worked with CricBuzz for a while. We did some for cricket.com. We're now working with Cricket 8. So we're doing, and we've had chats. We're doing work with Fan Code and all sorts of things. We're not struggling. We're not playing the algorithm, argument as much as we could. I could do more of the sort of stuff I did on the Cricket with Balls Day, which is kind of what great cricketers do, and just make fun of cricketers all the time. I'm just too old to do that anymore. So I don't, it's just not the way that I like to do stuff. Plus, it's harder to do if you don't have, Higo or Sam next to you as well. It's harder to do on your own. We'll keep developing. The thing, as I said, I think we average now around 2 million 2 million reads, listens, watches every month on our network. We were 1 million 6 months ago, right? It's a lot of growth in a short period of time. But we don't like to grow in one area. It's unlike a lot of creators who kind of throw all their stuff at one or two areas. We're going everywhere, partly because I don't trust tech companies and everything else. But it's going fine. And we're really, really happy with what we're doing and the growth that we've had. When you get those big numbers, Ravi, it brings in problems as well. And also, what happens with sponsors is they start to expect it. What I have done from the start is what I call antiviral content. I want to do something so that a huge fan base will come occasionally, but a consistent fan base will always be engaged and be interested and be following it. And that is what I did when I worked at Cricinfo. That's what I did when I was at Cricket with Balls. That's what I did when I was trying to run cricket magazines and everything else. I've always maintained that I don't go after the huge hits. So yeah, our biggest video is 1.3 million views, and we've got maybe another one, a couple more that are over 500,000. Those are absolutely great, and they certainly help sustain it. But to me, it's not just about that. It's about the total amount of work. So that if someone who finds one of those great videos or one of those viral videos and gets really excited, clicks on the other stuff, they will realize that there is a depth to what we do. And so we get a huge amount of minutes per viewer compared to other YouTube pages that put out a similar kind of similar length content. We get people, when we start a new channel over here, that come across to it straight away. We have completely set the system up the way that we want to. Of course, we would want more views, but we would want more listens on our podcast as well. And I would want more readers on our articles. But if you look at the total package of what we're putting together, we're very, it's working in a really great way. It's allowing me to control what I want to do. And Ravi, that is the most important thing to me. If I had, I don't know, let's say 10 million listeners, or 10 million viewers a month, maybe I'd still be able to do that. But you'll watch a lot of YouTubers, when they get to that kind of success, they end up kind of starting to make YouTube content for the algorithm and for the fan, and for to continue to have that viral kind of success. We make the videos that we want to make. And if you look at what we did after the World Cup, we actually slowed down. We made a lot less videos on the main channel. And over here, we put a lot more of the live content, everything else. It's all organized. It is the way it is. But thanks to everyone for their support. If this is your first time on the scoreboard, thank you very much for coming. We will be here every day of this test, every day of the next test, and then every days of other things that come up, because we are the scoreboard and you can't beat us. I didn't really have an outline there, so I just kind of said some words.